Hello and welcome back for a wild edition of the Palm Beach's TV Watch Party series. I'm your host, Theo Dorsey, and today we're venturing out to explore the country's very first drive-thru safari. As a family-friendly, cageless zoo, Lion Country Safari brings the experience of an African safari right here to Palm Beach County, Florida. Let's head on over and learn more about how their incredible conservation work and care of over 1,000 animals impacts wildlife efforts all over the world.
Dawn on the African plains. Creatures stir in the mist and unusual noises fill the air as this kingdom comes to life. There's the anticipation of a thrilling adventure ahead. An African safari is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. In fact, all of this natural wonder is available almost any time, and it has become a beloved part of Florida history. Welcome to Lion Country Safari.
I truly love this place. Our animals get to roam free in large herds, and we confine the people to their vehicles as they drive through. So that just brings out so many of the natural behaviors in these animals that you would only see in the wild.
There's something about driving to work and getting out of your car, and the first thing you hear in the morning is the lions and the siamangs and the gibbons and all the animals here that really make this place really special.
I'm a firm believer that happy animals tend to be healthy animals. So we put a lot of effort into making sure that these animals are happy, that they live in natural social groups, and it brings out a lot of their natural behaviors.
That effort is reflected in every part of the drive-thru safari. It's broken up into 7 sections and is 4 miles long. The guests have a true feeling of being on an adventure and maximum time to see natural animal behavior.
Being able to drive your own vehicle through our safari, which is 4 miles in length, and view the animals from your car, and the animals roam free around you, the animals have the right of way, and as a result of these large, wide open spaces, we're able to have large herd sizes, a little bit different than you might see in a typical zoo. So, for example, the zebra, also some of the larger herds of southern white rhinos and giraffe in North America. And our wide open spaces and our ideal climate year-round allow us to have this amazing attraction right here in Palm Beach County.
Now, as you can imagine, keeping these herds of animals thriving takes a skilled team of experts. And of course, hard work and compassionate care that starts bright and early every day.
To start my day, I get in my truck and then I make a drive through the park, unlocking the gates, checking all the animals. I always want to make sure that if there are any issues with these animals, that we're able to take care of them as soon as we can and before we open to the public. In this first section, we have our brown pelicans, and the brown pelicans, they are a protected species, and the pelicans are brought to us either by the Florida Wildlife Commission or other rehab facilities because they get fishing line caught around their wings. They're unable to fly. So we do house them out here. We have an island in which they live on, build nests, lay their eggs, raise their babies, but their babies do fly off and add back to the wild population.
One of the highlights of any safari is to see the famous lions. Each one receives top-of-the-line care and attention. It's no wonder that some of the longest-lived lions on record have been here at Lion Country Safari.
Florida has weather that is very conducive to being able to live a longer life. Also, the quality of care that we provide these animals. And the third, I think, is that these animals live in large social groups. They live in a more natural situation. And I think that mental stimulation that those animals are getting, I think helps to perpetuate that lifespan. You hear stories of somebody who might work their entire life and then they retire, and then they don't have a whole lot of longevity after retirement. Because once the brain really slows down and stops, sometimes the body will follow. And I think when these animals live in these large social groups, I think there's that constant mental stimulation of the politicking within that group, the interaction with others, and I think it just really tends to keep them going a lot longer.
Social interaction is readily on display with the chimpanzees at Lion Country Safari. Their habitat is made up of 4 islands, creating unique enrichment opportunities. The setting even has the stamp of approval from world-renowned primatologist and anthropologist Jane Goodall.
The Chimpanzee program is a program of the Jane Goodall Institute. It was founded many decades ago by Jane Goodall. Lion Country Safari is the only institute that has continued the program since its inception. And the point of the program is to collect data from chimpanzees that are in human care, and we look at their behaviors, and we want to make sure that we're not seeing anything that's a little aberrant or not very healthy for the chimps. So it's a really fantastic way to monitor their welfare. We very much appreciate the guidance and the Jane Goodall Institute program. They've been instrumental in sort of the inception of the island situation here at Lion Country Safari. Jane herself came out many times when we were first developing the Chimpanzee Island program. She reached out immediately and said, hey, if you ever need any help with anything, feel free to contact me. She's really been a fantastic resource. She's been out here to visit on safari multiple times. We're always really happy to host her, and she's just a fantastic woman who really cares very deeply about chimpanzees and their conservation in the wild.
One of the most beloved animals in the world are giraffes, but they're facing an uncertain future. With population numbers dropping, it is critical that organizations like Lion Country Safari lead programs to ensure that these animals continue to thrive.
The habitat at Lion Country Safari spans 50 acres for these giraffes. Breeding and gestation are part of what takes place at Lion Country Safari, but it's a process that can take as much as 14 or 15 months. And this requires a lot of patience and care. Lion Country Safari has one of the largest herds under human care in North America. There is also an additional cypress forest that the giraffe can graze in and roam around at night.
They can browse off the trees the same way they would in nature. We're involved in a program that controls not only the invasive species of plants, such as acacia tree and Brazilian pepper. We will cut down for these guys in order to eliminate that from the natural Florida habitat, but also gives these guys the ability to eat trees, which is what they eat out in the wild.
Each giraffe is given alfalfa hay, along with about 5 to 10 pounds per day of a vitamin compressed grain to help keep them healthy and supplement their natural diet. It takes a lot to grow big and tall, but every creature starts out as a baby.
Another very unique thing that our guests can see here on safari are animal births. All of the animal births happen right out in the public area. We don't have back areas that we put the animals in. We do have maternity pens, but they're right out on exhibit. So for example, a giraffe birth would be visible right in front of the public. So as you're driving through, you may be lucky enough to watch as a giraffe gives birth. It's a pretty impactful experience to see the giraffe fall. They do a nosedive down to the ground, and that helps to sever the umbilical cord and also promotes the first breath with that baby.
To plan your expedition, visit LionCountrySafari.com. To watch the Lion Country Legacy film in its entirety, visit the on-demand section at thepalmbeaches.tv. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. I'm Theo Dorsey. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next week.